Here's how you can complete Golden Age Domination in 2K23. So you can see we have 36 out of 99 stars in Golden Age Domination, and if I'm being honest, it didn't feel that much harder than the normal current domination. The only thing that's a bit different for some reason, even though we are moving up in difficulty, you can see All-Star on current, and Golden Age actually has Superstar, you actually have to beat them by more points. So do be aware of that it's not 14 or 15 points like it is in current, it's actually 16, but also in some cases 12. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, so just make sure you're checking it before you go in so you know what you can, or just make it your blatant goal to get 16-point wins on every single one. Here's one of the 12-point ones going against the 92 Celtics. Maybe they think going against Larry Bird and Kevin McHale is just too tough for you, so you can only have to win by 12. Either way, it's an interesting one. Try to win by 16 general rule. So looking at the team that we have, it really isn't much different than current domination. I actually think I may have only subbed in Kevin Durant as our backup power forward, and he fits in pretty well. The main thing that you need, Steph. Honestly, Steph, best card in the game right now. Any version of Steph is going to work perfectly fine. I'm obviously using the Amethyst just because you don't really have a lot of MT and he's cheap, or any other card that you can get that has a really nice release that you like and preferably is going to have gold limitless range, or at least silver, but preferably gold. And you can see Steph has that perfectly. He also has some really nice badges like Deadeye, Claymore, Agent 3, Slithery, Pro Touch, Fast Twitch, Acrobat, and Hold of Fate and Catch and Shoot. Great card, and he's literally perfect for it. And I would try to get as close to a 93-point shot as you can just to make sure Steph is going to be great. And this is because I have a few money plays to show you guys in the Warriors playbook if you want to, and some other default things you can go to make Steph just even better if you want. And there's also, I'm pretty sure on this Steph card, a dynamic duo with some card that you can have some fun with if you want to. Not a big deal. And the rest of the lineup, just fill up with guys who are really good defenders. I have Jimmy Butler, Scotty Barnes, Giannis, and Joel Embiid, because all of these guys can kind of shoot, besides Giannis a little bit, but they're really good defenders. Jimmy Butler, I think, has silver clamps. Giannis has silver. Scotty, I think, has gold maybe, and Joel Embiid is obviously a really good rim protector. And that's kind of the general idea of the team. And then I like to just throw in a lot of I guess good shooters like KD, Cameron Johnson, and Luka, and then I have Ja in there just to slash at the basket and run a really nice pick and pop with Kevin Durant. And Shaq's kind of just there to be the big man in the paint. Not many of the centers can shoot in Golden Age Dom, so you really don't have to worry about it like at all, so it's pretty crucial. Now the next thing that you are going to want to do is head over here to coaching and go to coach game plan. You can actually change your defensive settings before you even go into the game, and these are the defensive settings that I've been using for every single one, and it's really been easy. Usually my problem is just not greening enough, not stopping the other team from scoring. That's really the only difference. So for onboard pressure, I have it on smother. That's just because I've noticed on it tight, they actually get blown by a little bit more, and sometimes they give a little bit too much space around screens. So putting it on smothered helps a little bit. For the off-ball pressure, I should keep that in tight, but I will go in on some of the centers. For example, like maybe out in Lister there for a center who can't shoot at all. 25 shot three. We're not gonna do it. Mark Eaton again. We'll go in specifically, and I'll turn his down to leave them or gap just for him because it's pretty easy. I don't change the force direction, but I do go on ball screen, go over, on ball screen center, go over, no hedge on either, and I do stay attached on all of these. Everything else I kind of leave. Sometimes if I'm really getting killed in the post, I'll turn this to 3/4 bottom just to make sure that they're ready for those post hooks and they're sticking to that guy in the post. But usually it doesn't happen all that often. I change the drive help to no help. I also have a no help on the center help rules, and then I will set transition defense to no threes because I would rather give a bunch of twos than threes, especially when we have a lot of 3-point money plays to catch up on a lot of those. There will be some offensive settings, but I'll show you those when we actually get into the game. And the playbook that we are using is the Warriors playbook. There's some decent ones I know in the Silver Mavericks playbook from this year. Bio2K has a great video on the Mavericks playbook and his money play there. So if you want to check that, go to his channel and check out his money play guide. It's a great one. But we're using the Warriors playbook just because I'm used to it. I used it all last year, and there's a really nice variation of plays that you can use for the 3-point line just to get some nice buckets. So that's kind of just what I use, and use the best coach that you possibly can. Really as simple as that. So when we're actually going into some of these games, obviously, this is the tip that I forgot to talk about in my current domination, but I'll say it right now. Please do not play 3 games on each one of these. Do not play it on Pro, then All-Star, then Superstar. If you play it on Superstar, you will get all 3 stars. Some people are, instead of playing 33 games for each domination, are playing 99 of them. It takes so much longer, so please help yourself out and just instantly go on to the Superstar difficulty. It's just so much easier. Now, I'm playing Modern Age Domination right now. Again, really not too much different, but that's what I'm playing. So I'm just going to load up into a game there. But just keep in mind that everything that I'm talking about here works the exact same. And some of the teams are actually worse here. I mean, these 03 Mavics, not great. So obviously select that superstar difficulty and head into the game. This should load pretty quick depending on what gen you are on, and it shouldn't be too bad. So you can see when we first load in, actually I'm going to skip it to the jump ball because for some reason the plays work weird if you do it too soon. You can see our defensive settings are already here. Now, the one thing that we can do is just check out, make sure everything's good. Rafe LaFrent, he is a shooter, so we want to make sure that's staying on there. But there are some other guys maybe that'll come in, like Sean Bradley, who aren't going to be a good shooter. So we can just put that on gap. We don't have to worry about him. He's not going to shoot threes for us or middies. He's got a D- mid-range. For the offensive settings, this is where we're going to change up our plays a little bit. Now, the first thing that I like to do is head over to Freelance and change this to Bucks 2018. The Hawks 2018 Freelance, for some reason, is just broken, probably because we all used it for the last 2-3 years, and they just wanted us to switch it up. So head over to the Bucks 2018 Freelance. It works exactly like the Hawks 2018 and gives you a lot of separation. And if you are somebody who likes to just completely ISO and call that pass and screen away, this is the Freelance to do so. Now we have the play selections for the Warriors playbook. The one that I usually like to do is quick 32 horns. You can see we pass it to the center right there. The PG goes to the screen for the shooting guard, who also gets a screen from the power forward and goes a triple wrap around 3 screens to get open. You can pass it after those first 2 screens or after the third one, and it all works. And all you have to do is hit triangle or Y once you select the play, and you can pick who's going to be running that route to get the 3. For me, it's obviously going to be Steph, but it may be different for you, just depending on what you want to do. There are some other ones that I've used a little bit that are pretty solid. Like this one, quick 21. You can see the shooting guard runs around that center screen and then gets a second screen just in case he's not open immediately off the 3, which means there's 2 options off this. And again, you want to select your PG to be your primary scorer there. There's some other ones that I've had some fun with, like quick 51 split, kind of the same idea as quick 21, except he'll pass it back to the center and then get another screen from the power forward. Some misdirection plays that can also work pretty well in general. And again, we want to set that to the point guard. At least I'm going to be setting that to the point guard because that's what I use. Now, you can see these guys can shoot, so we have to make sure we don't let any threes up. But the general idea stays the same of we are just going to kind of off ball with Joel Embiid or whoever sitting in the corner, not really worry about it too much, and just make sure we're rebounding, because rebounding, especially on the defensive end, is pretty difficult this year. So try to win the jump ball if you can. I can't, so we won't be doing that. But this is the general idea that I try to follow. I'll just pick whoever is standing in the corner right now. It's going to be Dirk Nowitzki. And sometimes I'll switch on to Joel, just make sure he's dropping down and making everything nice, and make sure I'm just the one contesting those shots, because it works better when I contest it. So for these plays, quick 32 horns, I used it all of last year. So if you watched any of my domination videos last year, it is the exact same thing. You wait until those dots pop up to pass it down to Joel. Then you pass it right down to the small forward. Make sure you get a nice playmaking one. And as long as you don't pass it to the wrong man, you saw Steph was open. I will skip ahead to correctly doing the play. All right, here we go. We're at it again. We're going to give it to our shooting guard, and then do quick 32 horns as our play. Wait for it again. The dots pop up to pass it over to Joel. We pass it. The dots pop up to pass it down to Scotty. We pass it to Scotty, and you can see Curry wrapping around the screen. Is going to wrap on another one right there, and then boom, the easiest 3 of your life. Now, there's going to be one thing that some people haven't talked about, and I'll do a short on this a little bit later if you want to see specifically what I'm talking about. We head over to options and controller settings to make your shooting a little bit faster, and actually head over to your shot timing release time, and you can set this to early or very early if you are consistently getting earlies on a lot of those jumpers. And if you're consistently getting late, you can change this to early, but if you're consistently getting late, you might want to switch over to that, if that makes sense. If you're shooting the jumper a little bit too fast, maybe switching it to early. If you're shooting it very fast, go to very early. And if you're usually a little bit late on the jumper because somebody has a fast one, late and very late can also help those out. I like it on very early just because it makes Curry's jumper significantly faster. And I'm not even sure if you get a meter off boost for shooting this year, but that's what I've been doing. And it works out pretty well. And this is kind of just what I do. Now, when I get bored of the plays or they just aren't working, or whenever I usually get like a sharpshooter takeover with Steph Curry and I don't really need him to run around all of the screens to get open, I can kind of just use the card as I please and not let Michael Finley wide open right there. I will essentially just give it to Steph right here and use one of his, cheesy moves, like this little combo right here where I do a little cross and then do this wide out step because I'm essentially wide open. Or you can run right here, hold R2, hit left on the stick for this example, and essentially just do a step back just like that, get wide open and shoot easy 3s. So you just take whatever hand the ball is in, you hold R2 and hit to the opposite direction and then hit down on the left stick. Really, really easy. And that's essentially just what I do when I really want to get buckets, but a lot of the cards, And that's really it. It's really not too bad. As long as you throw in some good defensive settings, you throw on that Bucks 2018 freelance, so if you're running the break or when you put in the bench, they're not really going to be crowding you too much. It's going to be a pretty easy game. So let me know what you guys think about it down in the comment section below. Like the video if you did enjoy, and let me know what you're thinking about 2K23 as well down in the comments. Subscribe if you're new to the channel. Hope you have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. If you need level 40, unlimited, limited, clutch time, domination, triple threat, or anything else on your 2K account grinded, contact Rose NBA on Twitter and let them know X sent you.